Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good day. How is everybody's week starting? Good morning. Good day. Hello from Morocco. Good morning. Morning. Good morning. Everybody's day going? How's everybody's week going? Is everybody's week going so far? Thank you for joining. Good afternoon from South Africa. I hope everybody's week is going well. New week, we have new opportunities. Good morning from Bangladesh. Good evening from Kenya. Okay, done for today. Corn Trader, had my best day yesterday thanks to your education. Says Ram, that is amazing to hear. Love to hear that. Yesterday's position was a beautiful one. We can go over that today if you'd like. Good over here. How are you? Thanks for asking, Clayton. I actually just went through a heavy tornado. There was a huge storm where I was. The 80-mile-per-hour winds. Quite a night for myself. Glad there's no damage or anything, but the rain and wind was absolutely astonishing. Good evening from the Philippines. Good evening from Lebanon. Thank you for all the wonderful education. Thank you for joining. I have a lot more to provide, so if it has been helpful, definitely stick around for what's to come. Is like Ash International, look at the global reach. Yeah, it is pretty cool to see all the different countries in here, so if you are from a different country, I would love to hear from where you're from. We have a lot of different traders in the space, so it's nice to see that we are all able to connect. Hello from South Africa. Big storms in Florida as well. Yeah, that storm was probably the same one I had last night. Kind of crazy, 80-mile-per-hour winds and the amount of rain. The rain was just like a sheet of rain. Just wouldn't stop. Solid trading from London. Good afternoon from Angola. Hi from Germany. And hello from Ukraine. Sweden, Kenya, Cambodia. The countries in here. Australia, Morocco, Puerto Rico, Switzerland. Love to see the community. Very grateful that everybody is here. Baltimore and Romania. Africa and Ghana. Syria and the UK. India and Israel as well. New Zealand, Turkey. Canada and Denmark. Thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate everybody being here. We'll get into conversation shortly. Wanted to give everybody a good morning and see how everybody's doing before we get into information or conversation. From Uganda and Boston. as you can see, some changes. I got the overlay up and working. I got the intro and outro ready. Let me know what you guys think about the intro. Let me know what you guys think about the overlay. I've been working on making things better on my end so that it's more user-friendly. We are going to get into a conversation here soon. Just giving everybody a chance to join, saying hello to everyone and good morning. Good morning. Hello from Manchester. Hello from Israel, Ghana, India, Maine. Good morning, T-Trades from Antarctica. I mean, you must be freezing. Antarctica is probably a sheet of ice up there. Or is that the north or is that the south? Good morning from Cali. Good afternoon from Nigeria. Overlay is cool, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. So, white chocolate that he job. Improvement is all we need. See that, so good over. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Hello from Chile. Have you seen my question regarding bias? No. If you want to throw the question back in there, I was just saying hello and good morning to everybody, allowing people time to join, connecting with the community, and making sure everybody's day and week is going well before we hopped into the conversation. I hope everybody's day is going well. I hope everybody's week is going well. We have New York Open coming up here any minute. And when New York begins, we'll be going through the chart. Depending on if we see a position or not, I will either be focusing on the position. If there is no position, we can either do prior examples. We can go through bias and analysis. It will depend on what price is currently giving us. If there is no positions available, then we can questions or communicate. We can absolutely go over bias. We can go over prior examples. Anything be beneficial. Let's see where we're at. We're heading into New Year. We got a minute. So, first thing, as always, the day starts on the economic calendar, right? So we have to understand that there are no high impact news drivers here today. As you can see, there are no red folders, right? So we're concerned with our red folders because we need to know if there's going to be a volatility injection. Furthermore, if there is, we need to know when that time is so we know whether we're standing in front of a moving train or not, right? So I personally do not execute in front of high impact news drivers. I look to execute after high impact news drivers, right? So seeing that we don't have any high impact news drivers, that is the first thing that is telling me to be overly patient. This does not mean that there is no trade available. It just means that I'm going to be more patient and more selective than normal. Right, so before we get any further into the conversation, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. We do this weekly, right? So we're doing live streams weekly. We do educational videos on Tuesdays weekly. So if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Turn the notifications on so you know when we go live, so that you guys could join and gain information or live examples week. Now, furthering the analysis, we saw that there's no high impact news drivers, so it is going to be insight to be more patient than normal. I will gladly be patient, knowing that we don't have an important time on the day. Meant to point this out as well. Next thing I want to say about high impact news drivers is we have CPI tomorrow. Okay. Everybody is aware of CPI. CPI is high impact news driver that a lot of people focus on. So understanding that we had a nice move to start the week and we have CPI tomorrow, first thing that I'm thinking about is there's no injection of liquidity today. Second thing I'm thinking about is, will there be any anticipation, right? Will there be any anticipation for CPI? So we'll see what the price gives us. But the day starts on the economic calendar. From the economic calendar, the day moves to the daily chart. And I will provide the analysis that I provided to the Discord. So for anybody that is not aware of bias, this is what I provided before the market opened on Monday. Right? So I look at bias through the scope of internal to external liquidity. The week started at an internal location. You can see I just outlined PG. You're on the daily chart, and we understand that if price is currently located at an internal location, look for price to move to the opposite. Since it is a bullish FVG and price started at this location, start the week, we have a bullish bias thinking that we are moving from internal to external. Okay? So understanding the important times is the first important objective in terms of analysis. The next important objective would be to understand the higher time frame order flow. You always want to be positioning yourself aligned with the higher time frame order flow. So we get our bias from the daily. We got our bias through the scope of internal to external liquidity. The daily started the week at a bullish FVG. Therefore, we were looking for a move from the bullish FVG to the swing high, a move from internal to external. Therefore, this week, we have been searching for long positions. Okay? From here, we move to the 1 hour time frame. This is because of time frame alignment. Okay? Daily is directly aligned with the hourly time frame. On the hourly time frame, we are looking for higher time frame areas of interest. ICT calls them PD arrays. Okay, so the areas of interest that I use to generate my positions are swing highs or swing lows and FVGs. Now you have to understand your bias, right? So since our bias is bullish on the week, I would be looking for bullish FVGs or swing lows as areas of interest to look for my long positions during New York Open. Okay? We're getting a nice move, so let me just move in here. Let me move down one time frame before continue the conversation because of the move we're getting. Sure. If we're getting a position. And it looks like it's running without us. So I'll continue with the analysis after I confirm that we don't have a position here, right? But the first thing I want to say about this is look at these equal highs, right? 1, 2, 3. We know that equal highs is a magnet for price. Okay, so seeing these equal highs would give us a target for our position. Now, seeing that the position ran to the target before giving us an entry, here, let me outline it so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. If this is the higher time frame area of interest, right? Let's go back to the hourly. Now, seeing that we ran to target, I could go back to the now. We were bullish from the daily. We need to outline areas of interest that we would begin searching on the hourly. The hourly is our higher time frame points of interest. Points of interest that you would use for a long position are swing lows, right? So let me mark out this swing low here. Let me mark out this swing low here. Don't see any FVGs in here. Count the swing lows. Here's another swing low here. So here are 3 areas of interest that I would begin position searching. From the hourly, I would move to the 5-minute time frame. Again, because of time frame alignment. The hourly is aligned with the 5-minute time frame. So now that we have areas of interest for our bullish bias, we would then go to our executing time frame, which is the 5-minute time frame. Off of here. Now that we're on our entry time frame, now that we have a bias to know what we're looking for, now that we have areas of interest to look for it, what we need to do is confirm our entry function during New York Open. We focus on the opening times, right? So New York Open is 9:30. Want to confirm our criteria at or after the opening time. Okay. Here's 9:30. Try and mark everything out. One hour sell side. Our higher time frame area of interest. And now you can see that we're getting a stop hunt at New York Open into our higher time frame area of interest. Okay. So after we get our stop hunt, we are looking to identify the breaker block. Breaker block is the highest up close candle before the leg down that took liquidity. You can't identify it just by looking. Bring your eyes up here to the O is for open, H is for high, L is for low, C is for close. We're looking for the highest up closed candle before the leg down that took liquidity. So you can see the closing price of this candle that I'm hovering over is 47.94.50. You can see the closing price of this candle is 47.94.25. So the highest up closed candle before the leg down that took liquidity is here. Since there's 2 consecutive candles to the breaker block, we use both of the candles. And now we've aligned with our bias. We aligned with time, New York Open. At New York Open, we got a stop hunt. After the stop hunt, we got displacement through the breaker block. We need to confirm that the displacement through the breaker block has an FEG aligned with the breaker block. I just outlined it there. Right, so now, once this candle closed, the 9:30 candle aligning the FEG with the breaker block, that's the first moment in time you can start looking for entries for a long from the breaker block with a stop loss below the breaker block, aiming for 2R, right? So the position would look like this. Now, for the individuals that have been working with me, that have been studying with me, and executing with me, they would already understand that this position has already played out. Why is this position already played out? Because it ran plus 2R before giving you an entry. Therefore, there's no entry here for me. This position already played out. Let's take a look at NQ. NQ looks to be in the same position here. See, did it already take I? So NQ looks to be in the same position here. Like the breaker block is here at out for you. See the breaker block. There is an FVG aligned with it. Mark this out. Seconds, mark out the rest. Stop on here. Here we have our higher time. Okay, so it is from a bullish FVG, and there's a swing here. So let me mark out this swing here. See if it ever tests the breaker block or not. Beginning of the breaker block is which is 16.84. Position would look like this. Bye. So I didn't have to go through bias because ES and NQ are correlated assets. The bias on the daily for NQ would be the exact same as ES. Looked at ES first, right? So in terms of bias, that would remain the same. That's why I was able to look at. See if there's any reaction from the breaker block here. There even is an opportunity of price moving. We will watch this. Hey, excuse me. Grab one sip of water real quick. Alrighty, as we're waiting, as we're watching, take any questions, go over any information. You have unicorn on daily on NQ and ES. Doesn't it give a bearish bias? I see what you're talking about with the breaker block and the FEG. Two things that make me not look at that is the SMT between ES and NQ. I will move over to the daily chart and show you that. Along with there's a great video by T-Trades in terms of creating a daily bias, understanding where the daily candle closes can help you form a daily bias. So I'll leave this here now because it's testing the breaker block and we would like to see what happens here. After that, we will go to the daily chart and I will show you what I'm referring to. Okay. Let's see how NQ reacts to the breaker block. Position is shown here. Have invalidation, have valid. So it comes down to whether you close over the previous day high or not. You look at the daily candle closure on NQ. That would give you the information that you're looking for in terms of bias. Did it close over the previous day high? Yes or no? Just move over to daily. I'm not sure what I'm showing you. Here you go. Here. So daily closed over the previous day high, bullish. Daily closed over the previous day high. Right? So in a bullish market, you want to be aiming at high. So that's my only concern here is that we already ran the previous high. What NQ wants to do with the breaker block? Hi Ash, how do you place L? I see it's below the breaker block. Any rules? How many points? So risk management always stays the same. We are always risking less than 1% of our account. So you have to calculate your risk before pressing any buttons. No matter what, stop loss always goes below the breaker block. Right? So now for the majority of the people that I work with, this is how I define where your stop loss should go below the breaker block. Here is a location. No matter what, it has to be below the breaker block. That's the first thing. Now, first thing I would say is if you're going to have a tighter invalidation, you should be more experienced. You should be more experienced with the market. You should be more experienced with the model, and you should be proven in your edge. And to be proven, that is data-backed results. So you should have years and years of executing this model. So this is for a very experienced individual, right? You're using tighter invalidations. For individuals that are learning, you need to give yourself more room. Okay? So now, giving yourself more room doesn't change anything. We are still aiming for 2R. We are still only risking less than 1% of the account. Okay? So risk doesn't change. You just need to position size accordingly. Okay? So here's invalidation, right? Do the setup. This is what a stop loss would look like. So we will annotate this and journal it and make sure that everybody sees what a loser looks like. take a screenshot of this so the Discord can take a look at this. Need to make sure I document. It does not matter what happens on the day. The day needs to be documented. The positions need to be documented. The emotions need to be documented. The thoughts documented. I'm documenting this quick, and then we will continue the conversation. Alrighty, perfect. So now that we have seen a position, we have seen invalidation, we can start to go over any questions and get through some comments. Let's take a... So again, it's already ran to R. So here's insight to a reason why this wouldn't have worked, right? So take a look at this high, the 4:30 a.m. high from where ES is, right? ES ran the 4:30 a.m. high. The NQ, go to 4:30, and what do you see here? So there's a couple things to note in terms of a loser, right? So in a bullish market, we are to be aiming at previous day highs. So seeing that NQ had already ran the previous day high before the position was generated, it looks like the draw on liquidity has been met, right? Next, you can clearly see the SMT between ES and NQ. This is SMT right here. Now, this will bring up some information that should be covered. The difference of a higher probability unicorn versus a lower probability unicorn. The differences are, first, time is always our most important element. We only want to be executing during the opening times. Second is premium or discount, right? So where are we in terms of premium or discount? We're in a premium, right? We're in a premium. You can clearly see the premium because price ran the previous day high already. You can see the premium because of the large expansion we had throughout the week. So if you're looking at a weekly profile, right, you're in a premium. Longing from a premium is going to be lower probability than longing from a discount. Okay? So in terms of higher probability versus lower probability, time is the most important, and premium discount is the next thing to determine probability. So put this Twitter as well, so everybody sees it. Right, because everybody needs to understand the reality of the situation. You are supposed to be thinking in terms of probabilities, but you have to have the understanding that nothing in this world is 100% guarantee. So you need to put yourself in higher probability situations and then risk properly so that you allow the probabilities to play out. You're always going to be sitting at a probability, though. There's nothing that is a 100% guarantee. So as much as everybody wants to see the wins, you have to see the losses as well. That's why we manage risk properly. Everybody sees. Oh. Okay, so if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're going to now go over questions and comments so that everybody could get their chance to ask questions and go over the information. You'll see when I execute, my executions will be directly on the screen. I executed yesterday. I had no need to execute today because of the no news drivers. The beginning of the analysis started with me saying that I was going to be more selective today and overly patient. That's why you didn't watch me execute. It's very clear as day. If you saw me press any buttons, then you would have seen the position. There was a reason why I didn't execute, and it's because of the market being in a premium, the daily high already being ran, there being no high impact news drivers, and because CPI is tomorrow. So the analysis started with me saying that anticipation for CPI makes a lot of sense. Right? That ES longer than NQ is. All right, so if you have any questions or comments, put them in the chat. We will focus on chat now that we've gotten a chance to analyze. How to define swing low when there is equal lows. So equal lows can be a swing low, right? So for example, you have one right here. Right, equal lows here, but you still have higher lows on each side of it. You can also see the change in the state of delivery here. Right, we were moving down for a short amount of time, created these equal lows here, had a market structure shift, and started moving. You still want to have the higher lows on each side of it, just like a swing low, right? A swing low has higher lows on each side of it. Can the unicorn be a continuation? If so, can we please see an example? Yes, the unicorn can be a continuation, right? And you quite literally see it here. So we're moving higher, right? So let's take a look at it. Here's the market structure shift here, right? Sweep of the low, market structure shift. Okay, so right after the market structure shift, you get the same exact thing. Sweep of the low, placement through the breaker block, FVG aligned with the breaker block. Let me clear these. The low here, breaker block, FVG. So all the elements except for time, most important element, shown here. Here's the reversal here. This is also a breaker block. Reversal. And then continuation. So you will trade tomorrow if you get a setup. Tomorrow we have CPI at 8:30. I will be waiting until after CPI. And the information is what is going to determine if any executions are taken, right? Just like today, if the objective to the position has already been completed before giving me an entry, then no, that's not something I would execute. It depends on the information, but yes, seeing that there's a high impact news driver, I would wait until after the high impact news driver and look to see if there's any entry function. What made you execute yesterday, given there was no news, is the unicorn. The position being so clean and defined and having a clear draw on liquidity. So if you look, let's look at the differences from yesterday's unicorn to this morning's unicorn, right? So let's back this up. Let's back this up and look at the differences. Now, take a look at the differences of yesterday's unicorn to today's unicorn. The bias remains the same, right? So let's zoom out. Start on the daily, just like we do any other day. Here's the daily, right? Moving from an internal location to an external location. We also closed above the previous day high. So there's multiple reasons to be bullish, right? Now let's mark out the previous day high so we can see it going into New York session. Here's the previous day high. That out. Mark that out, and you see all of the FVGs. I'm not going to mark out every single one, but all of these are points of interest to generate a bullish position, right? So mark that out. Sorry, I went too quick. Here is New York open right here. So the first distinct difference that you can see is that our draw on liquidity has not been met yet. In a bullish market, you're supposed to be aiming at the previous day high. Yesterday, our previous day high has not been run before our position was generated. This morning, it has. That's the first key difference. You have to have a draw on liquidity. This morning, the previous day high was ran before an entry was given for the unicorn. Yesterday, it was not. Very distinct difference, right? Now let's go into the actual position. Take a look at the position now. Here is the very first moment in time that you could be taking a long entry from the unicorn. Okay, so we'll mark everything out so you can see it. FVG aligned with the breaker block. Stop hunt. New York Open. You saw all the hourly FVGs in this leg. So the hourly FVG was the point of interest to begin position searching. We got a stop hunt into the hourly FVG at New York Open. We had an FVG aligned with the breaker block. Now the next thing, there's a very key difference. Look at where midnight opening price is. If you've watched my education, you would have seen my midnight video, or if you saw my tweet the other day, you would know that you are looking to get longs below midnight opening price. You're looking to get shorts above midnight opening price. You see the key difference between today's unicorn versus yesterday's unicorn? The long is presented below midnight opening price and our draw on liquidity has not been met yet. Very key, distinct differences. So now, if both days have no news drivers, right? No news drivers does not mean you can't execute. No news drivers means it's a time to be more selective than normal. Okay, so if you're being more selective between today and yesterday, which one would you choose? Yesterday's. Yesterday's, it is clear that we have a clear draw on liquidity. It's the same entry function. The entry function never changes. It's the narrative that changes. And if you were in my Discord, you would have heard me say this many, many, many times. We do not just execute any pattern. We are not retail traders. Having an understanding of narrative is more important than just taking any position. I outlined the narrative during the analysis before I pointed out the position this morning. For a lot of people that are in here, I would not be surprised if you just took the position without even asking me if I was going to take the position. Even though I outlined the bias, even though I outlined the narrative. Okay. Very key distinct differences here. The entry function does not change. You have to understand that we are not retail. We are not pattern traders. We do not just trade any unicorn that presents itself. We have an understanding of the narrative and draw on liquidity, and we focus on time. Any time that you are not able to define those things, it is a time to be patient. It is okay, so first thing, let's look at previous day high. First thing is, let's look at previous day high. All right, here's your previous day high. It's already been ran during Europe. So draw on liquidity has already been made. Next thing is look at midnight opening price. We're supposed to be longing below midnight opening price, shorting above. Narrative. Narrative is more important than just seeing a position on a screen. If you are so impulsive this morning that since something was drawn on this live stream, you executed, here are your results. Another key thing that we focus on in the Discord, so I highly suggest you guys join the Discord, is becoming an independent thinker. You should not be listening to anybody else. You should be generating all of your positions on your own. If you're looking for a signal service, that's the same thing as having a boss. If you're waiting for somebody to tell you to do something, you might as well get a 9-to-5 job. Instead, take ownership, take extreme accountability of your edge. Take extreme accountability of your own education and your own experience. See how ES moved? ES is still reacting to the breaker block. So we'll go back into more questions. What about Dixie, sir? Or will you only until CPI tomorrow? So the Dixie analysis for myself is bearish. I'm bearish on. Been dealing with. This is the reason why I'm bearish again. The daily, where I get my bias, being Dixie reacted to daily bearish FVG. I am looking for internal to external move. Hence why I'm bullish on indices. Dixie is inversely correlated to the indices. Again, if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on. That way you can be alerted for when we go live again for our next videos that are uploaded. It is a great opportunity to learn and gain more experience. I am always documenting my own journey through the markets every single week. So if you are looking for a chance to learn, take a look at the information, take a look at the model. There's a PDF that outlines all of this information as well. Just taking a quick look at a couple things and back into the conversation. I hope everybody's day is going well. I'm glad that we were able to review the markets and get through a bunch of questions and comments. If you want to ask any questions or go over any specific information, throw a comment in the chat. We'll go over a few more questions before we wrap it up, but I'm glad that we got another New York Open under the belt. It's a matter of showing up every single day. It's a matter of gaining the experience. Conviction to your executions are going to come from the experience. So the more experience you have, the more conviction you're going to get. The only way you're going to do that is putting in the time yourself. Okay, so show up every single morning, show up every single week, and continue to learn. Hey Ash, can we use the unicorn model for swing setup in the 4-hour using the weekly bias? Yes, the unicorn model can be used on any time frame. You just have to understand the difference in the time frames. If you're looking at a daily entry function, you have to understand for that position to play out accordingly is going to be held much longer than a 5-minute entry function. A daily entry function, you're probably going to be holding for a week or so, multiple days minimally. A 5-minute entry function, you might only be holding for 5 minutes to an hour. So understand the time frame that you are on and understand execution that comes with it. 15-minute entry function, 5-minute entry function, 1-minute entry function are going to be intraday. Above 15-minute, so if you get a 15-minute or an hourly entry function, that's going to be a daily. So you're probably going to hold that for the entire day. Above an hourly, 4-hour, daily, weekly, you're going to be holding that for multiple days. So understand the difference in the time frames. Hi mate, love your streams, highly educational and informative. Can you please go over how you picked the BB during London today on ES? Okay, let's take a look at London. So I do try to provide as many sessions as possible. The only session that I really don't cover is Asia. I'm from the US, so I'm normally sleeping during that time. London I do get a look at sometimes if I'm up early enough in the morning. Majority of the time I am on New York Open. So take a look at ES, what was posted this morning for ES. Take a look at bias, right? So I'm sorry, we already went through bias. Bias was bullish, right? So yes. Go to London Open. London Open, the chart would look like this. You have a swing low here that is currently being swept. Low here. Swing low here. So these would be two areas of interest that I would begin position searching. I would move to the 5-minute time frame during London Open. So during London Open, right? Next candle is going to be London Open. See that we're already creating a stop hunt into the higher time frame point of interest. We have this here. We have this here. These are the two areas that I would look for. See that you're already getting a stop hunt, right, into that higher time frame area of interest. Begin searching. You can begin searching because 1, London Open is beginning. You start at 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You are at an area of interest. You just need to start confirming your criteria. So you get the stop hunt, start marking out what the breaker block would be. You wait to see if you get displacement through the breaker block. Here is displacement through the breaker block. A decisive move higher. It also leaves an FVG aligned with the breaker block. Right? So at this moment in time, once this FVG is completed, so at the 2:45 a.m. candle would be the first opportunity that you can start entering the breaker block. Okay? So now, understanding the previous day high that we had mentioned earlier, notice how we haven't ran the previous day high. The difference in terms of having a draw on liquidity versus not having a draw on liquidity. Again, it's the difference from Y and Q failed this morning compared to this trade here. So understanding that our draw on liquidity, it has something to reach for, and we are confirming our criteria during the opening time. This is what the position would look like. You get an entry here, right? And now we're waiting. At this point in time, it's either I am accepting 2R or I am accepting minus 1R. There is no in between. There are no emotions to have about it. QR is achieved, and it looks like it's going to run previous day high. So there's your reasoning for the London position, and you can see the differences to why the London position worked correctly versus the New York position. Hi Ash, could you explain SMT in detail as I could not find any helpful video in YouTube? I highly suggest going to T-Trade's YouTube. The amount of information that is on there is a gold mine. I could almost guarantee that there is an SMT video. So if this explanation is not helpful enough, you also have T-Trade's YouTube, where you can find this information already documented. SMT is insight to the stronger or weaker pair or correlated assets. Okay, so if a correlated asset should be moving the same, the way you find SMT is when there is a crack in that correlation. For example, show you a crack in correlation now. This is current price, where we are standing right now. ES and NQ are correlated assets. ES ran above the 4:30 a.m. high. NQ has not run above the 4:30 a.m. high. This shows SMT. This shows that NQ is the weaker pair. It is insight to strength versus weakness for correlated assets. When correlated assets are not moving the same, when there's a crack in correlation, that is what SMT is. So you can see, and this is kind of what I had mentioned before the day even started, was the anticipation for CPI. I was trying to build narrative for the people that were watching. If you were capable of understanding what I was saying, you would understand why these positions don't have a reason to move in their intended direction, because of the anticipation for CPI. There's no news drivers today, and we have a huge news driver tomorrow. So everybody waiting for CPI would make sense to why, right? We're not having a decisive move. Can you elaborate as to why do you see the 20th December red candle in NQ as a breaker? From my experience, a candle creating both going high and low shouldn't be considered as a breaker. I'm guessing that you're referring to the daily. So here's a breaker. This is what a breaker is. Breaker is contingent upon the swing points, the amount of candles that create that swing point, is not what defines the breaker. You need to have a high, need to have a high, need to have a low, need to have a new high, then a new low. I would suggest going to ICT's core content and watching ICT breaker blocks and watching ICT institutional swing points. I believe they are core content month 4 and month 5. It is contingent upon the institutional swing points. So if you haven't already, please do like the video. Please subscribe to the channel so you can be alerted for when the next live stream will go up. We have educational videos that are dropped every single week. If you haven't already joined the Discord, we have an open Discord for any questions, conversations. Everything that we have talked about this morning is talked about in the Discord daily. So if you ever want a direct line of communication, please join the Discord. You will be able to ask your questions daily. I'm very present in the Discord. I'm a lot more present than Twitter. I'm able to communicate with people more clearly in the Discord. Amazing stream as always, learning and improving from you, Ash. Thank you so much. Not any trades this week so far from me, but practicing, no rush into trades. That is a very good mindset to have. Thank you for the kind words. Showing up and striving to learn every single week is the perspective that we should have. We should be in no rush at all, and we should be focusing on learning instead of risking. You have to understand gaining the conviction is going to be through the experience that you have. If you're going to risk too soon, you will knock yourself out before you ever get that education that you're looking for. Ash, are you currently bullish or bearish for indices? I'm currently bullish for indices. Would you consider my question? Would you consider my request? What was the request? You could just put it in the chat again because you have missed. Discord group is powerful. Yeah, so the amount of people that have gotten funded through the Discord is astonishing. We're creating multiple funded traders every single week. I love to be able to provide value every chance I can. So I would gladly hand out any and all information anytime that you guys would like. That's why I'm saying join the Discord. That's where I'm capable of communicating the clearest. Based off the daily on NQ, we are bullish. Unicorn setting up. Daily, you reckon there is a bearish shift? I'm currently bullish. Here's the reason why I'm bullish. Look at this FVG here, right? The FVG created from the 11th of December. Okay. Now let's move over to ES. We are looking for the daily FVG from the 11th of December. There is no FVG here, but this is the 11th of December. Do you notice something there? This is a form of SMT, okay? NQ was capable of moving into a discount on the daily. ES was not able to move into a discount on the daily. Therefore, that is a sign of strength. Therefore, this being a bearish breaker, I do not want to be trying to short strength. I'm no longer looking at that breaker. That is why the analysis that I put in my Discord is that I'm looking for price to go here. Do not want to be trying to short strength. The strength is shown between the cracking correlation between ES and NQ on the daily. Hi Ash, how can develop good narrative and learn to trust their analysis? Show up to the Discord and read over the documentation every single day. I'm pointing out these different narratives every single week, every single day. So like this morning, how I pointed out during the stream, why the narrative was not favorable for longs compared to yesterday's narrative being favorable for longs. You get to see those insights anytime you show up to the Discord. You will have to submit to time, meaning you only get one experience per day. The market only opens one time each day. We have to analyze it for each opening. So show up to the opening times each week, and the more times you show up, the more narratives you'll get. Check with us the GU London. Look at open. So I'm guessing we're looking at this. All right, so we have a stop hunt here. A higher time frame. Okay, so it is. So you get a sweep of the hourly swing low. Sweep of the hourly swing low. Stop hunt into the hourly swing low. Breaker block. FVG aligned with the breaker block. Two o'clock, so you could have entered as soon as we completed the displacement through the breaker block. So any of these entries, 225, 230, 255, 3 o'clock. Below midnight opening price, talking about narrative again, below midnight opening price. So yes, I agree with what you are saying in terms of this being a unicorn and having a here, aiming for 2R. Previous day high was ran already or not. Previous day high is still intact. So again, in terms of narrative, see the difference. See the difference. Previous day high has not been ran yet. Longing below midnight opening price. See the difference between today's NQ versus different narrative? I agree with your GU analysis if you are referring to that being a unicorn. How long do you view opening time as valid? I want to see criteria be completed at or after the opening time. I am personally hunting between 9:30 and 12 o'clock. I do not consider any positions once lunchtime hits. At that point in time, I'm leaving the office and going to the gym. Are you only trading EU and GU now? I focus on NQ and ES. I don't think at any point in time I said I'm focusing on EU and GU. I trade NQ and ES during the opening times. He trades SMT divergence, CT concepts. Yeah, see, I knew he had a video. I highly suggest you guys go to T-Trade's YouTube. Again, the amount of information that is there is just pure gold. And Q, would that be a new bullish breaker on the 5-minute? There is no breaker formed yet. You do have a low, a high. Right, so you have a low, you have a high, have a new low, but you have yet to make a new high. So there is no breaker here at the moment. Yeah, EU and GU is on my watch list. Yes, I do keep track of it. I know there are a lot of London traders, so that there are a lot of Forex traders, so I do give analysis on those pairs. Again, if you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So that way you can be alerted for any of the upcoming live streams or educational videos. We have been on here for now an hour and a half, so I'm going to begin to wrap it up. I will take a couple more questions before closing up the live stream. Today we got a beautiful example of a lower probability unicorn. I hope you guys are able to see the narratives. We spent a lot of time talking about the difference in probability. This is something that you guys need to focus on because we are not retail traders. We are not simply just trading a pattern, right? We're not just executing a unicorn because there's a unicorn on the screen. That is very surface level thinking. We are taking a deeper look into price, understanding bias, understanding narrative, understanding higher time frame order flow, and understanding our importance of time, our importance of drawn liquidity. We are not simply just trading a pattern. If you need more examples of narrative, you need more examples of higher versus lower probability, continue to show up every single week. Join the Discord. We go over this information every single week. Okay? You will get examples of these narratives, these higher or lower probabilities, every single week. You just have to show up and strive to learn. Take a couple more questions, and then we are going to wrap up the stream. Thank you everybody for joining. I'm greatly appreciative of everybody that came here today. Love to see the community that keeps growing. Love to see the amount of people getting funded and using the model. We are going to continue to keep getting 1% better every single week. Have to understand that we have to be patient with ourselves. Give us the amount of time that is needed to gain the conviction. And the way that we do that is showing up each day to gain more experience. If you haven't already, I'm currently running a free giveaway. The giveaway is on my Twitter. It is for 2 50K challenge accounts on my funded futures. I will retweet the giveaway link. All you have to do is follow the steps of the giveaway on Twitter to enter the giveaway. The winners of the giveaway will be drawn on Friday. Thank you again for everybody that came. I will be in the Discord after this live stream ends, so if you have any questions that were not completed, please bring them to the Discord and I will answer them there. I hope everybody has a great day, finishes off their week strong. And again, if you have any additional questions or comments, I will meet you guys in Discord. Hope everybody has a great day. I will see you next time.